First up, and developing tonight, police are searching for a gunman involved in a scary road rage shooting in Northeast D.C. Take a look at this video. Police say that is 42-year-old Kenneth Davis Jr. You see the guy shooting at a car with a woman and children inside.
42. Similar to the 42-year-old brother who ran into our friend Bernard Berry in Chicago. And there's obviously something going wrong in Blackistan right now. And I trace it back, a portion of this escalation, not the root of the problem, because the problem's been going on for 60 years. But the escalation since May 26th of 2020. Brothers like this, they know what type of dude George Floyd, Rayshard Brooks, Jacob Blake are. Brothers from the street, all they do is judge other people. Even though now that it's wokety woke, now you can't judge them. But all they do is judge people. This person will be that nigga, that dude's so man. Well, he real, he cool, man. He about it. But this old lame ass nigga, that nigga lame, he buster, he a buster, he a footy fruit, you a goofy, you a weirdo. All they do is judge people. That's all street dudes do. That's all they do. Man, she a hoe, she a skeezer, she a fruit, man. She alright, she wifey material. That one, she a clucker. She everybody. That's all they do is judge people 24/7. Okay, that's it. And they knew what type of dudes George Floyd, Rayshard Brooks, and Jacob Blake was. And when you lionized, canonized them, gave those guys sainthood, by proxy, you gave the criminal element, black men that are criminals, the ones that are criminals, you gave them sainthood by proxy, and thus carte blanche to do whatever the hell they want to do.
Look at this video. Police say that is 42-year-old Kenneth Davis Jr. You see the guy shooting at a car with a woman and children inside. Good evening. I'm Adam Longo. This is just one of several big developments made by D.C. Police Chief Robert Conti today. Making those announcements are Colby Satterfield live outside police headquarters with the latest on these cases. Hi, Colby.
Hey, Adam. Yeah, police say Davis is the owner of that Maserati, which they say was found today. They also say that he is from the area. Now, in addition to this case, Chief Conti also announced 5 different homicide suspects, all accused of murder in some degree from here in D.C.
If you commit a homicide in the District of Columbia, we're coming for you.
A strong and passionate message from D.C. Police Chief Robert Conti after announcing a suspect in a recent road rage incident and 5 murder suspects. 2 of them are 18.
Somebody out in community knows where these young people are, where some of these individuals are, and we're asking for the public's continued help to not allow these individuals to just roam our streets and cause more death and destruction in the streets of the District of Columbia.
The 5 homicide suspects are wanted for murders ranging from last month to last summer.
Now I want you to remember, this city is 45% white, 45% black. They painted Black Lives Matter on the street. Well, that was because a guy died in police custody in Minneapolis, but still, the theory is that white supremacy is rampant in D.C. They still talk about the Capitol riots, where no one was killed except for a Capitol rioter. And none of the congressmen were ever in any danger. AOC has been outed. She wasn't even in the building. She was in a building several blocks away. She lied, saying she felt for her safety. Those old white people wasn't a threat to anybody. If the one cop would have held his ground and not ran, they wouldn't even have got up in there. The hero cop, the cop they made a hero. But the reason I say that is because all these murder suspects, and not just in this case, but in every single case. You should see the DC Gun Memorial. I've done it in so many videos that, you know, it kind of gets redundant. I may do it in this video, I don't know. But everybody's black. Everybody. All the suspects in those murders are black. So I guess by painting Black Lives Matter downtown, not in the black neighborhood, I wanted you to understand, they didn't paint Black Lives Matter on the ground in the black neighborhood. They painted it next to the White House, on the street adjacent to the White House, in the downtown area, a business district where nobody lives. And certainly, don't know black people live down there. But they painted Black Lives Matter down there. They didn't paint Black Lives Matter on Alabama Avenue. They didn't paint Black Lives Matter on Saratoga Avenue. They didn't paint Black Lives Matter on Benton Road. Okay? They didn't paint Black Lives Matter on Good Hope Road. They didn't paint Black Lives Matter on Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue. They didn't paint Black Lives Matter on 14th Street. They painted Black Lives Matter downtown. Bunch of white people at. In every murder in this city, every murder victim is black and every suspect is black in a city that's 45% black and 45% white.
Roam our streets and cause more death and destruction in the streets of the District of Columbia.
The 5 homicide suspects are wanted for murders ranging from last month to last summer. And a new suspect announced today police believe to be responsible for a road rage incident involving a family where surveillance video captured a woman being shot in her car while her 2 young kids were in the back.
A family, a woman and her kids. That's a typical family in DC too. So many issues in this city. And white supremacy is probably number 1,784 on that list. Yet, it's all they want to talk about. Some form of white supremacy. Racist cops. Lack of opportunity. We can't get no business loan. Well, everybody got PPP loans, and everybody, what did they do with them? They bought Maseratis. So now you see why, when you hear that, remember hearing that old thing? Black people can't get loans. If you go into a bank, they won't give you a loan, because they know you probably going to buy a Maserati with it.
Her 2 young children, ages 5 and 11, were also in the car. Fortunately, they were not struck by gunfire. However, the 5-year-old suffered minor cuts caused by the car window glass that was shattered by a bullet.
Police say they have found the Maserati in Prince George's County, and the car's owner is next.
We'll see him soon. That much I can assure you of.
Conti says in this case and all homicides in the district, the community's help is crucial in getting the cases solved and justice brought to families.
We got 5 or 6 individuals out here right now where the community can go out and call into the police. These individuals, whether they're in this area or not in this area, somebody knows where they are. One homicide is one homicide too many when it occurs in this city.
As for the district's rising homicide rate, the chief said that is consistent with other cities across the country. He says anyone who commits a homicide or crime in D.C. will have police coming.
Also breaking tonight, a 14-year-old girl shot in the head.
Our Jermont Cherry live now outside Comer Children's Hospital where the girl was taken. Jermont, any news on her condition?
Brad and Erica, doctors are doing everything possible to save this teenager's life. She was rushed into surgery, as you mentioned, with that gunshot wound to her head. Yet another young victim to gun violence, this time in the Back of the Yards community.
If
If you look at the top left of your screen, surveillance video shows what witnesses say is the 14-year-old girl and a friend walking a dog moments after leaving a corner store at 48th and Wood. But look closer. In the middle of the screen, you see a guy wearing all black. He runs up, stands in the intersection, and pulls out a gun. Witnesses say he fired 2 shots.
They shot him twice. I don't know, one in the head or both. They shot in the head.
But she was hit
They shot him twice.
Hit twice, but at least one bullet hit her in the head. Jorge Medina is a friend of the girl's family. He tells me it's frustrating to know the teenager was injured walking in their own neighborhood.
If I go to the store, get some chips, on the way back, they got shot, you know.
Moments after the shooting, surveillance captured 3 men running down 48th Street and jumping into an SUV. Police say they are looking for 3 people in connection to the shooting.
Damn. You think they'll protest for this? 14-year-old Latina that was shot like they did the last time they got up in arms over a Latino 13-year-old by the name of Adam Toledo. Remember that was round-the-clock coverage on CNN for like a week? You couldn't turn on MSNBC or CNN without something about Adam Toledo. They didn't even let you know he had the gun. They just showed you the last frame after he had tossed the gun and his hands up. They didn't even tell you that he was involved in a shooting moments before into an occupied vehicle, ran down the alley with the gun, chased by the officer, tossed it into a yard in the alley, and then turned around and put his hands up, all in like 0.4 seconds. And the cop didn't know what was going on. He didn't know whether he still had the gun in his hand. And cop shot him 1 time and then gave him life-saving measures, and they rushed him to the hospital. He succumbed to his injuries. They didn't even tell us that his nickname was Little Homicide, because he was a real gangster out on these streets, even at 13, which is very common in Chicago. They just showed us a picture of him smiling when he was like 11. What do you think they'll do for this 14-year-old girl that was just walking a dog and was shot down like a dog by 3 men in the head? They ain't gonna say a word about it. And that's why crime is so bad in this country. The media. So I abhor you. I beg you, share these videos, subscribe, support the channel, take the $5 challenge via PayPal, Cash App, or the Super Chat. So we can take these stories national ourselves.
Moments after the shooting, surveillance captured 3 men running down 48th Street and jumping into an SUV. Police say they are looking for 3 people in connection to the shooting. CPD says only one of the 3 men showed a weapon and fired. It's not clear if they were targeting the teenage girl or the young men she was walking with.
It doesn't matter who they were targeting. They always shoot the wrong person. Or even if they do shoot the right person, somebody else gets shot all the time. Because like Jay Prince, the great mogul from Houston, who just lost a nephew the other day, it's this anybody can get it mentality. There's a mentality on the streets called anybody can get it, where these shooters, they're shooting everybody who's right there. Like, for instance, we get in an argument and you're standing in front of the store, kicking it. I leave. The guys who you were there with when we were arguing, they gone. Some other people have come up now. They weren't even there when we were arguing. When I come back, I'm shooting everybody who's right there. Whether, you know what I'm saying, it doesn't matter. Everybody's getting shot who's right there. And that's the mentality on the streets right now.
Across Chicago, more than 120 kids and teens under 20 have been shot so far this year. And now this 14-year-old is added to the growing list. Everyone's hoping she pulls through.
It's a good condition. I don't know if he's going to make it.
Now, the 14-year-old was the only one injured. Her friend was not hurt. Police are reviewing that surveillance video that we just showed you. Again, no one is in custody, and when last listed, this child was in critical condition. Live outside Comer Children's Hospital tonight, Jermont Terry, CBS 2 News.
This was the price of wokeness. These woke black politicians, kids gonna get killed. They're kids that they raised up in private schools around white kids in the suburbs and kept away from the Rayshard Brookses, the Jacob Blakes, the Daniel Prudes, the Breonna Taylors. You think she would have let her son? Think she would have let her son date a Breonna Taylor? Think her son would have brought home Breonna Taylor? You think she'd have been happy about it? No. But this is the price of wokeness. I told you this was going to start happening. I told you. No one is safe. Just because you defunded the police in urban areas, you still embolden criminals everywhere. So yeah, you might not suffer from the defund the police like your constituents will. But you will all suffer from the criminals being emboldened. This is the price of wokeness. You defund the police, you embolden criminals, and your kid gets killed. It is snazzy high-rise on the good side of town. And now we got to hear about you demanding answers from the police, or behind the scenes using your connections to get an extra detective on the case. You know that's what they do, right? She's got all types of connections in that area, in the police department and everything. Extra detectives, extra resources, extra attention. High profile, more likely to turn up leads, viable leads. And somehow she'll link it back to white supremacy. Poverty, the legacy of slavery, generational trauma. But inwardly, she'll hope that the suspect dies 1,000 deaths. And she'll go to her grave wishing she had 24 hours alone with the suspect while he was strapped to a chair in a room full of torture devices. But she'll tell us, generational poverty, and victim didn't have any choice over his actions. The suspect didn't have any control over his actions because of slavery. And
as 23-year-old Jason Campbell, they believe he was shot to death here just before 8:30 in the morning. Campbell is the son of former state senator Daphne Campbell. Campbell herself took to Facebook to address her son's murder, asking for prayers and strength. State Senator Jason Pizzo, a Republican who unseated Campbell, tweeted, quote, "I called Senator Campbell today to express my sincere condolences for the loss of her son. Jason was just 23, a father, a son, and another victim of senseless gun violence. As parents, political disagreements are wholly insignificant significant when it comes to the lives of our children. Miami-Dade police say they want to hear from anyone that has information about this case. If you're that person, you should go ahead and give them a call right away. Miami-Dade Police is the department to call. You can also call Miami-Dade Crime Stoppers at 305-471-TIPS.
And victims of gun violence in Miami-Dade County is the son of former state senator Daphne Campbell. Campbell posted this on Facebook saying her 23-year-old son Jason Campbell was killed. In her post, she called the killing senseless, saying her son's 3 kids are now without a father. That shooting happened yesterday morning. Police say they found the victim dead at the scene in the 400 block of Northwest 165th Street. Police did not release any other information about the shooter.
This person says, my God, I remember when he was born and how happy Bob and Daphne was, and to just lose his life to senseless gun violence in his sleep. Wow, damn. What is this world coming to? R.I.P. Jason, and my sincere condolences to Daphne, Bob, Cindy, Gregory, Janice, Ryan, and the entire Campbell family. Our heartfelt prayers are with you guys. Yikes.